Has the economy impacted your business lately? Are you curious to see what the next 6 months is going to bring? I'm Jamie Gorman, the host of Be Better at Business TV, and I'm here this morning with John Stewart, the managing partner and founder of Vantage Economics. And we'll be discussing how knowing more about the economy can help you make better business decisions and help you be better at business. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Jamie. Thanks for having me.
But we did talk about the how government decisions on taxes and debt and those types of things affect businesses, and how their consumption, the consumer, if they have less money, then they're likely to spend more money or less money at your business. So it's important to know your audience and to realize how it's going to impact them to kind of adjust for your spending and what you do. And so you might adjust your product offerings or adjust how you sell in order to make up that difference.
Yeah, and it's not only that you might, it's probably that you should probably do that.
Okay.
You should probably make some sort of accommodation, and you should have discussions either with your CFO or your accountant or an economist
Okay.
to see what sort of impact that might have on your bottom line. See what sort of increase in demand there might be as a result of a change in price or a change in product offering.
Okay.
So you really want to narrow in on that as much as you can.
Okay. And what about taxes on businesses? So with things that are coming up, there could be additional taxes because of healthcare reform. There could be just additional income taxes. How do the taxes on businesses themselves affect the economy?
Well, obviously, it's just like with the consumer. The more the greater the tax burden on business, the less they're likely to invest, the less they're likely to hire.
Okay.
So those types of implications, if you raise corporate tax rates, that's going to have an implication in terms of they're going to spend less.
Right.
They're going to do less hiring. Now, a lot of those issues have been delayed until next year.
Okay.
They kicked the can down the road, as it were,
Right.
which is probably a good decision, right? Our economy is still sort of flailing a little bit. It's an anemic recovery.
Right.
So delay some of those initiatives until next year. But certainly businesses are going to be looking at that. And most businesses should be developing some sort of contingency plans based on that.
Okay. Great. And so we talked about the weighted taxes. But what I wanted to ask was, hold on. What I wanted to ask from a business perspective, especially, is when they look, how does the uncertainty, right?
Mm.
So we talked about, this last decision was right up to the last minute.
Yeah.
You said they've kind of kicked the can, but we really don't know what that long-term decision is. How does the uncertainty affect business decisions and consumer spending?
It's enormous.
Okay.
That's the number one concern that I have. That is, as you said, they kicked the can down the road, which essentially means they dealt with some of these tax issues, the marginal tax rates, the payroll tax, those things. But what they didn't deal with was the sequester issue.
Okay.
So that is now a mandatory issue on March the 1st. Another issue that we have to deal with is the debt ceiling that we dealt with not so well beforehand,
Right.
Which is we need to raise the debt ceiling. Now, why is that important for business? Well, if S&P and Moody's and all these other ratings companies come out and they say that our debt it's less reliable, that we're going to pay our debt, there's a downgrade in our debt, that means interest rates go up. If interest rates go up, that means the borrowing cost for companies goes up, which
Okay.
means less investment.
Okay.
Then there's also the issue coming up in March with the government and its inability to deal with its fiscal debt, approve the budget for
Right.
last year, so they're under a continuing resolution. They have to do something by the end of March.
Yeah.
So there are three big issues that are leading into that uncertainty. Companies are sitting on record levels of cash; they're not spending it.
Just
That's one of the
because
big reasons.
they don't know what's
One
gonna
of the big
happen if they
reasons.
do.
One of the
And I
big
was talking to a government contractor just the other day, and he was talking about this whole concept of continuing resolutions, and not knowing means that the government folks aren't able to spend
That's exactly
as
right.
well with them, which kind of trickles all the way down.
Absolutely.
Well, John, thanks for coming out and helping us really figure out, and the economy is important to any small business owner, no matter how small, but it's important to kind of track those things and kind of know what's going on so you can make the right decisions. John, would you like to share anything else about Vantage Economics?
As you say, we're an economic consulting firm, but don't let that scare you. We do a lot of data analysis that's specific to firm needs. We do a lot of sales forecasting for companies, not just industry forecasting, but forecasting that's specific to the company. We do a lot of the scenario development, the what-if type stuff, right? What if interest rates rise by a certain amount? What effect will that have on my sales? What effect will that have on my ROI? Across various industries, we do some work with banks in terms of portfolio risk management, things of that nature. So it's really applicable to a wide range of businesses.
And you break that down, you do industry and you also do geographic, right? So you can break down by, down to the state, county, region level as well.
That's exactly right, yeah. So your different regional offices may perform a lot differently. And again, in the Northern Virginia area, when we're looking 5 years out, there are some serious decisions that local businesses are going to have to make relative to what another business might be making, say, for example, in Seattle.
Great. Okay. And if you want to get a hold of John, you can go to vantageeconomics.com and get his information there. Well, thanks for joining us today. Once again, I'm Jamie Gorman, host of Be Better at Business TV, and I'm also the CEO of Sigma Business Management, where we can help you with your business planning, business management education, and meeting facilitation. Thanks for joining us today, and we hope that you can use this to go out and be better at business.